Hello everyone, I am Aluminium Man, and I'm back with another video because Spider-Man is also back. So, Spider-Man has been revealed as an upcoming DLC character that's going to be introduced into Marvel's Avengers sometime in 2021. Now, I was truly unsure if Crystal Dynamics would ever bring him into the game, given that he had his own major title solo release only a couple of years ago. But here he is, confirmed to be joining the Avengers, which is super exciting. Or is it? Now, don't get me wrong, I love the idea of swinging around New York while Iron Man flies next to me, but that's just the issue. I won't get the opportunity to. Spider Man is only going to be a PlayStation exclusive. Now, before people think I'm just a salty Xbox kid who's crying because I feel like I'm missing out, then you are absolutely right, because I want to play as Spider-Man. I'm not here to tell people that it's okay that not everyone is going to have access to a major Marvel hero in a Marvel Avengers game. In fact, I'd even go so far as to say it's a kick in the teeth for everyone who's going to be playing on either Xbox or PC. And I'll say this now, I'm not one of these YouTubers that seem to only talk about things from a good perspective, like, oh yeah, that's a great idea, oh yeah, well done for doing that. Especially if the creators have said that they want feedback on their game. That's the whole point of releasing a beta, so you can get feedback from the players. And I think you need to be honest with the things that you say. So, this is my honest opinion on the Spider-Man exclusive content. I do think that this poses more issues than just simply people complaining about missing out. And that's what we're going to be discussing today. What problems does introducing console exclusive content create for Marvel's Avengers? And I would be making these same points if I myself was a PlayStation user or if there was Xbox or PC exclusive content. Because at the end of the day, it's all about the consumers and the player base as a whole, not just about individual players. Now, what information do we know regarding the DLC and the future for Marvel's Avengers? Well, we all know that Crystal Dynamics plan to bring free monthly updates to the game to continually expand the character roster, evolve the story, and grow the world. My main belief behind the decision to make future DLC free for everyone was because the game designers want everyone to be able to keep up with the continual growth of the game and the story that it wants to tell. And that's fantastic. But how can you do that when you've announced that you're bringing exclusive content to one group of players? It's not just Spider-Man that will only be available to PlayStation players. It's the stories, the missions, the regions, and villains that will come with that. Is all that content going to serve the greater universe within the game, or are they going to be self-contained? I highly doubt that it will be self-contained, because if that was the plan, well, isn't that what the standalone Spider-Man PS4 game was anyway? And if so, what was the point in introducing him into the game when that already exists? And isn't that the main reason you would want to bring Spider-Man into this game? So that he can be a part of the Avengers, just like how we brought him into the MCU, so that he could be a part of the Avengers, not just be in his own solo universe. I'm really intrigued by the idea of travelling from place to place, going from one location with one character to another location with a different character. I think it's a great way to explore the world, but I'm going to find it distracting when potentially something that happened during a Spider-Man story starts affecting other stories with other characters. Without experiencing that yourself, you're left wondering why something is even happening. Just imagine we go back to when Spider-Man was introduced into the MCU. Everyone was going crazy to think that would even happen, but then comes the announcement that you can only watch those Spider-Man movies, say, if you're in America and you have access to a certain movie theatre. People would be off, and rightly so. Then in the middle of Infinity Wars, suddenly you're like, well, hold up. When did Spider-Man get his Iron Spider suit? You miss those connections with the characters and the greater story. It begins to take you out of the immersion of the story that you're trying to invest in, whether it's something that you're watching or something that you're playing, and it becomes distracting. Now, I can see the business move from Sony on this one, and it's not like exclusive content is a stranger to console players. But given the direction we see this game go in, I just can't see it making sense in terms of a storytelling perspective. I really think that's a big selling point with Marvel's Avengers. And that's the main issue here. It's not just, oh, you don't have access to a character, it's the stories that you could explore and invest in that are not just great stories to interact with, but that connect to the greater story in the game. And that's a real shame. The Avengers are all about coming together. If you're going to create a game filled with an entire team, then bring that team together, all of them together for everyone. One note I'd like to make is that this isn't the only extra stuff PlayStation users are getting over other players on this game. They also get the beta a week early, which a week doesn't bother me in the slightest, but it leads me to believe that maybe we could be seeing more exclusivity with the PlayStation than with other consoles for this game in the future. Again, this could be a marketing technique from Sony to try and entice people into buying a PS5 when the next gen consoles release. I'm definitely not going to buy this game on Xbox. Well, I already have bought it because I've pre-ordered it. I'm not going to spend time leveling up my characters, investing in the story to then start all over again because I've had to buy a PS5 just to get that Spider-Man content. I think I'm going to leave the video there. I probably sound too negative right now, but when a game does well, people want to make that known. And it's just as important that when you have complaints about the games, that you talk about it as well. Like I say, it's feedback. Whether it's good, whether it's bad, it needs to be honest. I do think it is great to know that Spider-Man will at least be a part of the universe Crystal Dynamics are building. I just wish that I could experience that as well. But that's going to do us for this video because I do want to hear everyone else's opinions on this topic. Do you think this exclusive content will introduce potential problems into the game, or should Spider-Man just be made available for everyone regardless of how they choose to play their games? Let me know down in the comments below. As always, Hulk smash that like button and subscribe so you can stay up to date with all things Marvel's Avengers related. But for now, I hope you all have a wonderful day. Goodbye.